all about Black Girl Magic. This is BHL's Next.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live. Next. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now.
Hey, okay. You got the dance moves down.
I love this song.
I love this song too.
Like,
I can't, I don't get tired of this song at all. I heard it, I watched the video, and then once they finally started playing it on the radio out here, I was like, oh yes.
Yeah, so awesome. Like,
it just pumps you up.
It really does, and the message is so like perfect.
There, yeah. I love it. I love Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, everything. He's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
So
he
good
really
choice.
is.
Good choice, Danielle. Guys, this is BHL's Next. I'm your host, Rhelin T, and I'm with the lovely Danielle Truitt.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, we have to talk about your one-woman show, but guys, if Danielle looks familiar to you, that is because she starred in the BET series Rebel.
Yes,
which was executive produced by Sean Singleton, who has created magic, guys, like Boys in the Hood, Baby Boy, Poetic Justice. The list goes on. Tell me, what was it like working with him?
Oh my God, it was amazing working with him. Like, he is a legend,
definitely,
and a genius, and he like fosters a excitement, like when he's shooting and just creating, and it's like contagious. So you can tell he loves what he does, you know, and he really he loves up and coming talent and new faces and giving people an opportunity, and he's just so down to earth and just has a really awesome vision, as far as like our culture is concerned.
Definitely.
And just bringing out the authenticity of who we are as Black people. So it was an experience that I will never, ever forget. And he's like my big brother now. So I love John, and I'll always be like so grateful to him for giving me a shot.
Well, speaking of culture, this show definitely is so different, Rebel. It takes you, not only are you a police officer, not only are you a woman, you're a Black woman in uniform, and it just takes a look at how you're doing this day to day, but you're also faced with these obstacles that are happening, that is also happening in today's society, such as brutality and corruption. But is there anything with Rebel that opened your eyes or gave you a closer look at today's law enforcement?
Yeah, of course. I think going into Rebel, I've always had a heart for just our community as Black people, and was always like really troubled by, the stories of all of these, African American men and women, dying at the hands of law enforcement. So going into the show, I was very much like, things need to change. And of course, and I still feel that way. But doing the show, I think that I got a little bit more insight on how difficult it is to be a police officer.
Yeah, definitely.
And just all the legalities and all of the things that, they have to deal with. And I still think there's a major problem, and there needs to be some real reconciliation between the community and law enforcement. But things weren't so black and white for me after doing the show. You know what I mean?
How so? Like, any examples?
Well, I guess as far as being an African American and being a police officer, you know what I mean? Because that can be a very tricky situation for African American, or police officers of color, because it's like they have to do their job, and then there's definitely like a fraternity type thing as far as like being a cop and like the oath that you make to
protect and serve,
protect and serve, but also to your fellow brothers and sisters in blue, you know what I mean? And kind of breaking that. So my hope is like that they can get to a point where it's like, okay, everything blue is not right. Just like everything Black is not, it's not right. It's like, let's deal with truth and honesty, and try to overcome the fear and the strife that is in between law enforcement, and the community or whatever. So I guess I got a little bit more compassion for cops because I didn't have any
efforts going
starting
into
off.
it.
No, and I know a few cops and African American cops, and they're very frustrated with what's happening within law enforcement or whatever. So yeah.
Did you have to, or did you talk with officers of color while preparing for this role?
Yeah, I did. My husband's uncle is he is a retired detective. So Rebel was a detective. So I talked to him, and he was just saying how like uneventful sometimes his job is. Yeah. But then when there is stuff going on, it's popping.
Yeah.
Right. So I talked to him, and another friend of mine, he's a police officer, and so I talked to him about a lot of different things and got some really good insight. The cool thing about Rebel is like her being a cop or her being a detective, like that was her job. And of course the show does revolve around that, but it also revolved a lot around her personal life. So it was cool to like, be able to play a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just like, oh, I'm a cop, which, you can get stuck in that, in that way a lot of times. So it was cool to be able to play, this woman that just is a woman that happens to be a cop.
Yes. Yeah. And to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first series on a major network that you had a starring role in.
Yes, it was my first lead role.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
What was that like? Because when people talk about filming series, it's like serious business. I recall even Kerry Washington reflecting on filming Scandal and how it was so many long hours, to create that. So what was your experience like?
It was exhausting. It was exhausting. It's super fun. I mean, everybody I got to work with was fantastic. My the co-stars, and they were incredible. The directors that we had were incredible. But it was exhausting. I was the first one there and the last one to leave pretty much every day. And a lot of shows, especially when you're the title character, some shows, you see the title character, but not in every scene of the show. And for a long time, until we got to like the last few episodes, it's like I was in every single scene. So it definitely was taxing at times, but also very rewarding. Like when we were shooting the pilot, I think I worked 80 hours in a week. 80 hours. Yeah, like I got off
that
set.
Is like double the average.
Yeah, I got off set. I think I shot like a really like emotional scene. It was like 4:30 in the morning. And I got there that day like at 1 p.m. And it was like 4:30 in the morning. And then I had to be back at 1 p.m. the same day.
How do you prepare for something like lots of coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
No.
No. I do not drink coffee, which is crazy.
Just your passion, I would say.
I think I was so hyped about it, and just having the opportunity that it was like I was like dead to the world, but like ready to be there again, at 1 p.m.
Awesome.
Such an adrenaline rush, and when you're finally getting an opportunity, to do something that you've been dreaming about for a long time, it's like you just find the energy, you know? But I was tired to the point where like my eyelid would just be twitching. Yeah. Like, I was trying to like pull my eyelid out.
Wait,
right?
No.
Like, stop twitching, It's so funny. But as soon as they would say action, my eyelid would stop twitching. And,
and you are a rebel. You were there.
So
she is present. That's funny. Awesome. So let's talk about, for all the Disney craze fans, you were the voice of Georgia in Princess and the Frog.
It was so fun.
I know a lot of people probably want to see more of Georgia, too.
I know. She cool.
She was cool. Right? She was amazing. She was really cool. No, it was, You're part of history, too. This is Disney's first Black princess.
Yeah. It was really cool. Fun fact, I guess, I actually, when I started working for the movie, it wasn't the role of Georgia.
Really?
No, I'm actually the video reference for Princess Tiana. So I did all of her body movements and facial expressions for the whole movie. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah, that's what I was hired to do. And so I would basically like lip sync to all her songs and all her lines, and I did all the dance. Like as Princess Tiana and the frog, even when she was a frog, like when they did the dance stuff, like I did
Oh my
all
God,
that.
so cute.
And it was so cool. They did it the old school way. Like I would dress up in the actual costume and they would film it, and then they would take the footage and they would draw it, and then they would bring it back, and I'd be like, oh my God, like that's me. Yeah. So starting off, like she looked exactly like me, and then
No, because when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? When I think about Princess Tiana, I was like,
as time went on, they kind of morphed, you know, her to look kind of like me
Anika,
and Anika or whatever. But yeah, it was such a cool opportunity. I wanted to audition to be the voice, but they were only seeing like name talent for that, and Anika is phenomenal, so
Definitely.
so awesome. But then later on, a few months later, they did a video reference like audition, and so my agent sent me out on, and I'm like, what is it? And she's like, you just lip sync to these songs. And I went in there and I ended up getting the role. So my theater background like really helped that. So I started working on it, and I made really great relationships with the director and producers and stuff like that. And one day they were like, would you like to do a voice in the movie? And I was like, yeah. Of course. They're like, well, we have this little part. It's not the biggest part, but you know, we really like you, and you know, if you want to do it. I was like, yeah, of course. So it's really cool, like looking back, watching that movie, and even my sons will watch it.
You have kids who are like 3 and 7, so do they know that their mom?
Yeah, they know it's mommy. Yeah,
the
they look at the princess and they're like, that's mommy. And then they hear my voice as Georgia, and they're like, that's mommy.
That's so cute.
Really cool.
Now we're about to get into your one-woman show, 3 Black Girl Blues. But before I get into that, it seems like all the things that you have worked on, they all have like this one connection, and that is bringing awareness to our community.
Yeah.
And is that something that you pride yourself on, or make sure that you take roles to do?
Yeah, I mean, I love to act, so regardless of whether, you know, it's a role that's super, you know, conscious or whether it's just something fun, like if it's something that I connect with, then, you know, it's something that I want to do. But I do have a very strong passion, like for African American people, for our plight in this country, for, you know, just the expression of our music and our culture,
especially because it's so underserved. And you can see,
and our stories being told. So whenever I get a chance to, you know, play a part, you know, like Rebel or be in the first, you know, Disney movie starring, like I feel like it's kind of like maybe a call that the Lord has on my life, you know, to be connected, you know, to kind of pioneer certain things or whatever. So I feel really blessed, you know, that the things that I care about in my regular life, I'm able to then, you know, play
for something that you love to do, which is act.
And I did a play called The Mountaintop as well. That's about the last night that Martin Luther King was alive, and it's a 2-person play. And I did it in San Diego, and then we brought that production here to LA. It was me and my co-star Larry Bates, and it was directed by Roger Grimber Smith, who's a very like underrated but amazing actor that's been in like Spike Lee movies, and like if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, right, yeah. He's incredible, but he directed it, and that show was just incredible. And you know, it was about Martin Luther King, and I played a maid in the Lorraine Motel like the night before he was assassinated, and I ended up being an angel, and like it was, you know, my duty to help him like cross over to the other side, you know. So that play, you know, it's just I just keep getting opportunities to do things that matter, and that
shine
makes
light on our community,
and to play strong women, which also
is
well, first of all women are strong.
Yes.
Like even the ones that look weak or maybe are having a hard time, like just being a woman
is
living as a woman, you have to be strong, you know. But to be able to, you know, tell those stories and play those roles are just, you know, it's a blessing.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you. So excited for this one-woman show, 3 Black Girl Blues. So tell me about this, because it's a one-woman show, and I'm like, how do you get up there and play all these people just by yourself?
I know, it's so cool. I was scared out of my mind the first time this is the second one-woman show I've done. The first one wasn't my own show, it was someone else's that I did, and I think I played like 25 characters in that one. It was crazy.
25?
Yeah. It was like probably 6 main characters and then like tiny other little parts. And I just remember the first night I went out on stage, I was like so nervous. Like I'm like, okay, well, the good thing is, no, there's no one else there. Like, I can't mess up anybody else's line. So I'm just going to, like, take my time, you know.
Because it's just you,
yeah, it's just me. And I got through it, and it was just the most exhilarating feeling ever. That show was called Neat. So after that, me and my writing partner or co-collaborator, Anthony Dewan, we came up with 3. And I had wanted to do a one-woman show for a long time. And he was kind of helping me, and then we came up with 3, and he wrote it, and it was just incredible. So I played these 3 women that grew up together, and now they have turned 30, and they're having to like face a lot of their demons, you know, because that happens when you turn 30.
Dirty 30.
When you turn 30, it's like, like you can't ignore like some of the things, you know, you went through or struggled with in your childhood or in your 20s, or, you know, all those things kind of come crashing back in, and you're forced to be able to have to deal with them if you want to continue to mature in your life and live the best life you can. Now, if you don't, if you don't, and you want to stay stuck,
it's gonna be right there.
It's gonna be there, and you're gonna struggle forever. But you know, as a woman in her 30s, it's like I want to be free of, you know, a lot of the things I struggled with. So I have the opportunity to bring these 3 ladies to life. One of the characters, so their names are Keesha, Jill, and Stephanie. And the first character, Keesha, she finds out that you know, the love of her life, her long-term boyfriend, has fathered a child by another woman, so she's having to deal with like the heartbreak of that. And then the second character, she's a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids and a husband, and he's working all the time, and she hasn't been able to, you know, do any of the things that she really wants to do in her life. And she finds out some, you know, terrible news kind of about him, and she's a person that suppresses everything and hides behind religion, you know, God is good, you know, everything is fine, you know, but at the same time she's like getting drunk, you know, while she's saying like God is good,
great all the time.
So we kind of get to deal with those issues. And then the last character that I play, her name is Stephanie, and she is an executive, you know, in the upper echelon, you know, and doing great in her job, and just she would be like the poster child of Black girl magic, like Olivia Pope, like just on it, sharp, gorgeous, you know.
But what's her catch?
Right. But she is probably the most messed up of them all. Like it's crazy. You know, it's crazy to see how you think someone has it all together on the outside, but inside they are completely dying, you know, and
you never know.
Suppressing and holding things in, and, you know, so she. So it's cool. They are all connected. Keesha is when you see Keesha in the first part, she's on the phone with Jill, talking to Jill, and she's telling her story and talking to Jill. And then the next scene, you see Jill, and Jill's talking to Stephanie, who you haven't met yet. And then the last one, you see Stephanie, and she's talking to her therapist or whatever. And so it's funny. It's hilarious, actually. It's funny. It's sad. It makes you angry. It makes you want to cry. It makes you crack up laughing. But these are 3 women that are like women that you know. Yeah. They're women that you know. They're women that have dealt with some of the things you've dealt with, or you know someone who has. And I've done the play a few times. I did it in LA twice, but just like one night only. And then I've done it in Sacramento a few times for some weekends. I've done it in Kansas, and I've done it in New York. And every time I do it, people come up to me
like,
afterward.
Are women like, this is me, or Stephanie is me, or
Keesha, they're like, oh my God, that second character, or oh my God, I saw. But the crazy thing is, it's not just women that come up to me and tell me that. Men come up to me and are like, gosh, like I really connected with this character. One time it was like an older white man came up to me and he's like, that first character, which is Keesha, which is the hood. I mean, she is hood. Keesha is hood. And it's not someone that you would think he would love. He was like, I love her. Right. He's like, I love Keesha. Like, I could just relate so much to her. I'm like, really? Can you? I was scared to do it at first. When I first read it, I was like, Anthony, what is this? Like, I'm not getting on the stage playing this ghetto hood rat. Like, I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
perpetuate a stereotype. But what I realized is
Everybody got a little Keesha. in them.
everybody does. And I do. Okay.
Same.
I am like all three of these characters in different ways. But the cool thing is, like,
But isn't that cool as women how
Yeah.
we can all like we're all the same in a sense. We're all different but very much the same as far
Yes.
as like the battles and stuff that we
That
go
we have
through.
to face.
We're not alone.
yes, we're not alone. And I
amazing.
think that's one thing that the play kind of talks about is like, and the beauty of being flawed. Like everybody is like seeking perfection so much, you know, in their lives. And it's like,
Definitely.
there's no such thing. There's just no such thing. And the things, the ways that we're flawed, like those are the things that make us beautiful. Those are the things that make us unique. Those are the ways that we connect with one another. Like no one connects to perfection.
No.
You don't connect to perfection.
no one
You know what I
is.
mean? Because
Yeah.
no one is. So, so yeah, they're super fun. They're crazy as hell, and they are not redeemable characters per se. Like, you know, you don't leave there like, oh, it's the Disney happy ending. You
Yeah.
know, you leave there thinking like, damn.
And that's what's really life. Everything is not like the Disney happy ending, you
right.
know?
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's a great play. You know, it's,
Rehearsal must be a breeze because it's just you.
well, I have people helping me out
Yeah.
with my lines, making sure I know my lines, you know, because with theater you have to stick to, you know, you should, you know, stick to the lines unless
Yeah.
you have to improvise.
That's
you know,
another thing I was going to ask. What's the difference between theater and doing like acting such as like Rebel, as you can say?
well, theater, number one, once you start, that's it. So you don't get to say like, oh, I'm sorry, can
Cut,
we run that
yeah.
back? You know, can we run that back? It's like, no, you have to push through.
So
you know?
Rebel was easier to film.
Yeah, yeah,
for you.
it's easier because you can, if I mess a line up, I can say, okay, I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna start again. You know, you get several takes. You know, whereas when you walk on that stage, that's
like-
it. Lights are on. Everybody's looking at you. Like, give us a show. You know,
Yeah.
and you have to create a world. You know, so with the play, it's very bare bones, so I don't have a lot of props. I
and
don't have
set,
a lot
yeah.
of furniture and set and all that. It's very bare bones, so I have to create this whole world, which is
With
the
just, yeah,
awesome thing about
your
it.
gift.
And people are like, I saw that, like I could see
See
everything, you know. So that's the beauty of theater as well, you know. And whereas with TV and film, you are
So
seeing
many things, effects, sound.
you're
and-
seeing everything.
Yeah.
And then just having to remember so many lines. I mean, that makes it different too. Like, of course I had to remember my lines, but it just weren't that many, you know, like long paragraphs of lines, you know, that
Is there any
you
time where
gonna-
you got the girls mixed up? Like, oh wait, you know
No,
what?
no,
This
no.
is actually supposed to be Steph and
no,
not Keesha.
thank God. No, but there have been times where I like skipped a whole paragraph.
Oh,
like,
really?
you know, like I'm like going, and I skip, and then I'm like, oh God, I skipped that whole paragraph. And then I have to like try to figure out like on my feet, like how to get back to bringing that
Yeah.
paragraph back in. Cause I don't want people to miss the story because, you know,
Yeah.
I accidentally skipped ahead. Now, most of the time that happens in rehearsal. It hasn't happened, you know, on stage. But yeah, it's and the physicality of theater is something that I love too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can just I just love the stage. I love TV and film, but the stage is
It's
like
different.
it's just I just love it, and the interaction between the audience
Yeah.
and you being on stage. So even when
'Cause
you're
it's like
on-
an instant.
yeah,
like-
it's an instant connection.
Yeah.
And even when you're on stage and you're not supposed to be talking directly to the audience, because there's different kinds of forms of theater. Some forms of theater, you're actually talking to the audience. But in this play, you know, it's supposed to be, you know, the audience is the fourth wall or whatever. But there's just something about the energy of human beings being in the same space that just gives you like an electricity, you know, to perform. And it's like church, like theater is like church, like, you know, that's what it is.
exciting.
And it's a great experience. So if there's people out there that you've never been to theater, like you should
Come check this out.
Okay, come see the play. That date, that's from an old flyer, but the dates are August 10th through
August
the 12th.
10th through the 12th.
Yeah, August 10th through the 12th at the Pico Playhouse.
Pico Playhouse.
Yeah, but yeah, come check it out. You will
Yeah,
not regret
I'm gonna
it.
go.
Like, yes,
I'm
please
coming.
come.
I'm coming.
You will not regret it. I'm not even saying that just because it's me, but I'm
No.
really good.
No, for real. I'm like really good. Like I'm three different people.
Right. And the writing is
Spectacular, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. My good friend Anthony, he's a phenomenal writer. So it's really good. So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So yes, guys, check it out. 3 Black Girl Blues, August 10th through the 12th.
yes, August 10th to the
Go
12th at
see
the
it. Get
Pico
your tickets.
Playhouse.
You know you ain't doing anything.
Right.
You have all this free time. You can go see this.
And the
play.
website to get your tickets is www.theblackgirlblues.com.
The Black Girl Blues are going to get
there.
your ticks, guys.
Yes.
Danielle, do you mind being my co-host as we
I
dive
don't.
into
I'm
these hot
excited.
topics?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, guys. You guys know Life Size is coming back. Life
Yes.
Size 2. But we're doing it without Lindsay Lohan, unfortunately. I don't know how I feel about this. It kind of it messes it up for me. I need Lindsay. We just need to get Lindsay some help.
Right.
Maybe get her
I know,
on
it's
the
so
set.
sad. I know.
I really want her back.
I
Lindsay
know.
Lohan was her and Tyra, their dynamic.
Yeah. It was really dope.
They're
Yeah,
cheating me a little bit.
I know.
Just a little
But
bit.
I mean, I'm sure whatever they've done,
It's gonna
for
be
this
good.
time, it'll
At
be
least a
good.
cameo. She didn't even have to be in it for
I know that would be awesome. Yeah.
just a little brief hey, and then my heart will be full. I'll be like, okay, you know what, this
That
is it.
so funny.
But I'm excited for this. Tyra Banks really doesn't do any wrong. I
love
love
Tyra.
Tyra.
Me too. I always have. I've always loved her. She's pretty dope and down to earth.
Very.
Yeah.
And we were just talking off air about how The Incredibles, 14 years later, now they're having a
I
second part.
know.
And Life Size too. It took, I don't even know how many years it's been. Can you see how many years
I
has it
don't
been
know.
since
I have no
Life Size
idea.
came out?
It was a while ago.
It was
though.
a while. I remember because of that movie, I had wanted to get a tattoo on my foot. She had that barcode.
Oh
And I was young, and I was like, when I get
I want
older,
a barcode.
I want a barcode.
There are people out there that
with
have that. I know there are. I know there are.
Because she had it. That's how you knew it was Eve. I was like, that's how you know it's the barcode. I was like, I'm going to get a barcode. I'm going to get my birth date on there. 2000.
Dang. 18 years?
That's longer than The Incredibles.
That's crazy. That is
That
crazy.
is crazy. And she's still going to look the same.
Yeah, I love Tyra. She's
Just
dope.
aging like wine.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see this movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out.
You get to take your kids. Have your kids seen the first one?
No, they haven't. I guess maybe we'll do that first so that they,
Yeah.
or at least
you
the
know.
7-year-old. I feel like the 3-year-old's gonna be like, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Turn up
It's Mickey Mouse Club.
You're gonna be like, what is this?
What is this? Yeah. So yeah, the first one first, and then
Yeah.
we have to see the second one and see
Yeah.
how good it's gonna be. Eve is coming back, y'all. She is coming back.
I love it.
And now we're gonna dive into Next or Not. I don't know if you've seen this
Okay.
new craze. It's all about the blue hair. All about the blue.
Oh.
Celebrities are rocking the blue hair. We got Kim Kardashian, we got Monica Brown, and we have Malaysia Pargo, Basketball Wives. I don't know how I feel about this.
You know,
I kind of like it on certain people. I
Yeah.
don't know if I personally could wear blue hair.
No, I would never. I would never.
No,
I'm like
and I was
so.
gonna ask you because you are so
I love my
flexible
hair.
with your hair.
Yeah,
You
I
can
love
do
my hair. I
braids,
do different stuff.
natural.
But I am not a color like. I do kind of want to. Sometimes I want to like, especially my afro. I wish that I had like little tips of like ombre or
Ooh,
something.
that'd be cute.
On
Yeah.
the tips, but then with acting, like you have to. I don't want to do anything that's gonna keep me
Away from
boxed
doing,
in,
yeah.
or like they can't see me as a character because I have like these crazy like
Ombre
highlights
tips,
or whatever. But I love it on certain people. You know what I mean? I love
Yeah.
it on certain people, and like you said, on certain people, I'm like, okay, that's dope. You know?
Yeah.
I like I've been seeing like people with like this grayish like purple.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That is dope.
That's hot.
That is super
I
hot.
know.
I love it.
My friend is supposed to take me to a wig shop, so we're gonna go wig shopping because I want to wear a wig. But the thing is like everybody knows you got to keep the wig secure,
Right.
Because if not, imagine, because that has happened to me once when I was young.
Really?
My grandma had a fake ponytail, and I was like probably like
Right.
10, and I was like, I'm gonna put this fake ponytail in my hair,
Right.
so I put it in. I remember I was at this Mexican food place,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just swinging that ponytail.
Did it come off?
Child. I was swinging it so like
That is
and that one and that ponytail was on the floor.
Wait,
I was
okay.
mortified.
I have a story for you.
yeah.
I never lost a ponytail, but I was doing In the Heights, the musical or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had clip-ins in my hair, like, long
Yeah.
clip-ins in my hair. And we're doing like this salsa scene or whatever, dance or whatever.
What happened?
My dance partner got his hand, like he put his hand on my head or something, and it got caught on his finger, and he drug out one of my clips on stage
In front of people?
Yes,
No.
in the middle of the show, and somebody oh no, I did like this spin. The salsa's so awesome, like all these like spin things. But I do this spin, and when I spin, I picked it up and tucked it in. We
Clutch.
were dying
That
for the
is
rest of the
so
show.
funny.
He ripped my
You
track
pulled the
out,
Beyonce.
bro.
That's what Beyonce would do.
Okay, you gotta keep it moving.
Yeah, Beyonce's clip would come out. She still hit the stats.
Girl, did you see when she fell down the stairs?
Oh yeah, and she was still
flipped down the stairs and then got up and was like,
yeah, still with the head. Me? No. Stop, man. Stop it. We're gonna take this from the top. We're gonna take it from the top.
Nope, Beyonce does not. She don't stop for nothing. Or did you see the time when her, Kelly, and Michelle were walking and Michelle fell
at 106 Park, and they were like,
They stepped right over her.
They looked at it for a quick second,
girl,
and was like, girl, you gotta come
stay
back.
with it.
Stay with it. That's the type of bounce back everybody needs to have in life.
I love it.
Think Beyonce. When your things
right?
ain't
Yeah, you
keep
it pushing.
Gotta keep it going. Keep it
Shoot,
Beyonce.
That is hysterical.
But yes,
I love
Danielle, thank you so much for vibing out with me today.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun.
Yes, guys, 3 Black Girl Blues.
Yes.
You have to see this. 10th through the 12th.
Yep, August 10th through the 12th.
At the Pico Playhouse.
Pico Playhouse, yep.
Pico Playhouse. I'm getting my tickets today.
Yay.
And if you're not getting your tickets, I don't know what to tell y'all. You know what? If you watch this episode and you're like, you know what? I do want to go get tickets. Go to link in my bio so you can go get your tickets.
Yes, check it out.
Guys, this has been BHL's Next. I'm your host, Rhelin T. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Rhelin Taylor. Danielle, please let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Oh, you can follow me on Instagram at daniellemonetruitt. Monet is M-O-N-E. And I just did the In My Feelings challenge.
She did come in here and say, I just did the Kiki.
I did it.
Do you love me?
You got to check it out.
Go check it out. Like it. Comment.
Yes, it, comment. Yeah. So anyway, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Same thing. And I'm on Facebook. Same thing. Danielle Truitt.
Awesome. Well, guys, I will see you next Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.